Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. We might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. The kids are because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at, crossed in the last 3 years, are CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing a significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute! Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty. Because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Diablo asks, why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh! Oh, God. Damn it, AD. I think you just need to find a gentle AD.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and is seen walking calmly is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have been required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive pardon, whether he can issue President's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
President.
you can't?
That would be a gross abuse
Oh,
of the presidential
it's a
pardon authority.
gross abuse of presidential pardon authority. Well, there you go. You accepted a pardon, Adam Kinzinger. You think you may have committed a crime. Oh, here, Jamie Raskin. Dirty Q-tip. Dirty Q-tip, Jamie Raskin. What else? What did he have to say?
Well, the seeking of pardons
Guess
is
it's only on
powerful
one side.
demonstration of the consciousness of guilt, or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Jamie
And that's
Raskin.
what's so shocking
Did he get a
about
pardon
this.
also? Wasn't he on
Well,
that committee?
The seeking of pardons is...
He was on that committee. I'm curious if you're going to condemn that part. Are you going to condemn that pardon?
You know, Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
Lots of murderers, lots of drug dealers, lots of people who killed people, commuted the sentence of a couple murderers. One drug dealer who people died from taking the drugs that they sold them.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
The Obama-Aniston rumors have gone wild. Rumors have emerged on social media that suggest Barack and Michelle Obama might be heading towards divorce, with speculators linking Barack Obama to actress Jennifer Aniston. Those rumors have gained traction following Michelle Obama's absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral and the inauguration, and are based on tabloid stories and social media speculation without solid confirmation from the individuals involved. So far, there's still rumors, and I don't know why people are perpetuating them, but it is kind of fun to perpetuate rumors like that. No one's come out to, out and out deny anything. That's the weird part.
We should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity.
The audacity!
Of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Like the boy asks, are cats really soul suckers? Yes. Yes. That's why I'm not into cats. Dogs, man. I'm a dog guy. Acosta Diablo, is there an aisle in the grocery store that is less objectionable to have sex in? Where do you come up with this shit? Dude.
Has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen.
Yes.
Somebody who 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, a dead.
And I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding Donald Trump's demise that has failed. I wonder how many people at Davos, again, let me say it again. I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding what they had hoped would be Trump's demise. Bet you there's a few of them there. And it didn't work, did it now? Didn't work now, did it?
Politically known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can erase it.
The show every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to, I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Well. Happy Monday. It's Monday, motherfucker. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel on this Monday, the 10th of March, 2025. You know, I just realized in 2 weeks, I'm about to have my 1500th episode of this show. I should do something special. I haven't figured out what yet. And also, the other thing that's happening at this very moment, as I'm looking at my computer screen over here, this one, not that one, this one, not that, this one, this one. X is down. I wonder if it's an attack. I wonder if it's, I don't know. I didn't promote the show on X because X ain't working. Although I have a whole bunch of X links open that I had before that happened. So we'll see what happens. I have a backup plan because I wanted to talk about, oh, Canada. Or actually, this reads, oh, Canada. So anyway, and I know my Canadians friends here probably understand that better than even I do. So, because I don't really, I don't really pay attention that closely enough to know that, oh, Canada. Anyway, today we're drinking coffee out of the Drake University mug. Drake University Bulldogs, about to be the Missouri Valley Conference champs in college basketball. And the coffee's good too. And then also, my son's alma mater, the University of St. Thomas, is in the championship game of the Summit League. If you're not familiar with this, I don't know, I talk about it much, but my son's old team, my son played Division III basketball, which is no joke. I mean, it's great basketball. I mean, it was fun. University of St. Thomas was Division III. But 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, 3 years ago, they made the jump from Division III to Division I. Like, it's a very rare occurrence. Sometimes programs go from 1 to 2, 2 to 1, 2 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, but never from 3 to 1. So they made this transition. So all of their sports are now Division I sports, and including college basketball. And this in their fourth year, playing in the Summit League, which is like North Dakota State. Who else is in the league? Omaha, Oral Roberts. I mean, a bunch of schools. They're playing in the championship game of the league. They have the best. They have the best record in the league. They're playing with the champions in the conference, but they can't go to the NCAA tournament if they win the conference, because the rule used to be that they had to wait. If you change divisions, you have to wait 5 years before you can play in NCAA postseason tournaments, which is wild, because you would think, especially going from Division III to Division I, it's like, well, how long is it going to take to build the program up to be even competitive in Division I? But in their fourth year, they're competing for the conference championship in basketball, which is crazy. And the same coaches there that coached my son, great guy, John Tower, a legend in Division III college basketball. But man, it's very exciting. So anyway, they're playing the University of Omaha in the championship, and Omaha will get the automatic NCAA bid because St. Thomas is ineligible. So there you go. There's my sports story for the day, and that's it. So there is only hockey. There are no other sports. Well, University of St. Thomas has a hockey team too, and they do pretty well. But yeah, basketball, it's unheard of going from a non-scholarship program, which is Division III, to a scholarship program, the highest level of scholarship programs, Division I, and in 3 years. Well, yeah, you've never heard of them because you don't pay attention to college the Division III of college basketball. You didn't even know there were divisions, so there you go. Anyway, yeah, so I'm excited about it, and so I decided to run my mouth about it this morning. But that is not what we're here for today. Obviously, we're here for news and catching up and seeing if X is going to work today. And if it doesn't, I have a backup plan. I have other stories I can follow, but it looks like X is going to be down for a while. So we'll see what happens. I have, like I said, I have a bunch of fortunately, I opened a bunch of tabs that will keep me on track. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, so there's no tweet to retweet, and there you go. But make sure also, by the way, this is a good reason to follow me on Locals. Now, if you don't follow me on Locals, every day in the links, I have this set up right here. This is my Locals channel. If you're not familiar with Locals, you do not have to subscribe. You can just follow me, and these notifications are much quicker and much more reliable than X, or not X, excuse me, much more reliable than YouTube's notifications. So you'll be able to, if as soon as I set that up and hit it, you get the email saying that the show is starting. So I would suggest following me on there. If you want to support the channel in a regular way, you can also subscribe there as a whatever you call it, a subscriber, whatever, supporter. A monthly $5 a month for Locals. That's what I use instead of Patreon, or instead of I think I have YouTube memberships open, but I don't know if anyone's ever been a member on. I don't think anyone's been a member on YouTube. Not that I know of. I don't think there's anyone who's a member on YouTube, but there is one person who is a member on Locals, and I can't. Is it Tyre? No, Tyre is a monthly donation on Streamlabs. You can do that too. So if you want to support the channel just on a regular basis, but don't want to do super chats all the time or whatever, however you want to do it, you can do just a one-time a month donation. That'd be great. Helps keep the show going, help keeps the lights on, help pays the cable bill, or not the cable bill, the internet bill, and occasionally buying birthday gifts for my grandchildren. So there you go. So thank you all, everyone who's being here. And speaking of all who are here, let's see who's here. Because, I like to do that. First in the chat date. Now, this is obviously not the correct one because of the glitch this morning. First in the chat, I'm just saying, was none other than Mr. Avocados Diabli, who got 2 bells, just because I feel bad that you got bumped out of that top spot. Also, good morning, Kara Soldier, Sound Noble Nation, Mike Savage, Blarg. My other favorite Canadian unacceptable views, my JB's in the house, Reaction Puerto Rico, Renee Mayat Attack Alpaca, Somnambul Nation, Resolute Germ, and Select a Boy. Yeah, boy. Good morning also to John Arnott, and now I'm running out of, Aaron Meredith's here. And Laura Stanhope, good morning. And on the honorable mention list of my favorite Canadians, Special Can Acid. All right, good morning. And I've got everybody so far. I think so. I thought I saw Tyre here too, but he's not yet. Oh, look, it's back up. It's backed up. Oh, good Lord. Well, Ed is talking about what I wanted to talk about today. I got a bunch of breaking news from peoples on the internets who sent this to me. And so I'm going to have 4 links to that. All right. So let's get into it. Cause we got to get this thing going here. Let's drop that there. All right. Looks like X is back up. I'm just going to read. Oh shoot. That's not what I do. Dang it. Stop it. There we go. All right. What I want to do is thank all the people who have tweeted out the show. For example, Reaction Puerto Rico. In fact, is that what you put there? Is that what you put in the links in the chat there? Let me see. Where was it? Looks like you tweeted out the show. I did not. Where is the Reaction Puerto Rico's link? There it is. Let's see if this is it. If you tweet out the show, you can retweet the show. What the hell? Why isn't this going open? Oh, there you go. Yeah, it is you. All right. Yeah, I'm going to, here, everyone retweet Reaction Puerto Rico and share the stream. I'm going to put it in the pinned comment. Replace pinned message. There we go. There you go. Please share the stream via Reaction Puerto Rico. You lovely island, island of tropical breezes. All right. But anyway, thank you to the people who share the show. Reaction Puerto Rico, Somnable Nation, Swamp Fox Ghost. I appreciate all you doing that. And today will take, I see Somnable Nation did it too. I appreciate that very much. Let's get some more people here. Let's see. Now, let's get into some news. Let's see. Well, let's start with, oh, by the way, okay. Today is an international holiday, not just a national holiday, not just in the United States, not just in Canada, not just in Mexico or the UK or anywhere. This is an international holiday. In fact, it may well be the number one holiday in the world. Is the holiday that will end all other holidays. None other than today is Chuck Norris's birthday. Happy birthday, Chuck Norris. The only birthday that occurs today, because if Chuck's Norris' birthday, nobody else's birthday matters. So there you go. Happy birthday, Chuck Norris. The legend is 85 years old today. Now, obviously, this is a picture of him when he was younger. But, well, actually, it's just, it doesn't matter what picture you use because Chuck Norris never gets old. So there you go. Happy birthday, Chuck Norris. Yes. Oh, man. By the way, good morning. TC's in the house. K-Shell, what's up? Nice to see you. And I think I said everyone else here. Okay. Oh, and Tyler F. Good morning. What's up? Nice to have you here. All right, moving on. It's also National Ranch Dressing Day. Somebody called Ranting Monkey because, you know, he has a fetish for ranch. He eats that shit on everything like most people use. What's that? Red Hot? What's the Red Hot sauce? Something Red Hot. Frank's Red Hot? Well, that's how Ranting Monkey uses ranch. So here's my suggestion. In fact, I'm going to, let's do this. I'm going to do something here. I want everyone on my show to send a message to our friend Ranting Monkey. I'm going to pin his, unfortunately, I'm going to pin his name up in the tweet here instead of Reaction in Puerto Rico. Let me find Ranting. Where the hell? Why? Okay. X is really glitchy today. It's pretty amazing. No search button. Explore. Let's try the Explorer. Here we go. All right. At Ranting Monkey. Why is, oh, what the hell? Oh, there it is. Oh, because he's ranting/monkey. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, let's pin his profile in the links. And I want everyone to wish Ranting Monkey, wish him happy ranch dressing day. There we go. We're gonna change the pin comment here because I think he'll get a kick out of it. You don't have to tell him I sent you unless you really want to. But there you go. Everyone wish Ranting Monkey a happy ranch dressing day. I'm sure he'll be like, whose idea was this? All right, so now, and on that note, yeah, the pictures here, someone dipping their pizza in ranch dressing and someone throwing on their salads and some putting in their sandwiches. But anyway, yeah, happy National Ranch Dressing Day, March 10th, 2025. All right, here we go, moving on. Also, you know, we just had daylight savings time in the United States, so some of you who do not live in the States and don't participate in that nonsense are probably wondering why the show's an hour earlier today. I think Mike Savage noticed that earlier. And there has been, now some people like daylight savings time because then you know, because in the winter, in the States. Like in Minnesota, at least, like we live like Canadians because we live north of 40% of the Canadian population. And I just hate it when it gets dark at like 4 or 4:30 in the afternoon during standard time. So I do like daylight savings time. I like having a little more light at the end of the day. I don't care if I have light early in the day. I'm working early in the day. I can work in the dark, but I don't like, having my recreation time in the dark. Well, apparently Senators Rand Paul and Rick Scott have introduced the Sunshine Protection Act that would officially end the twice yearly time change and make daylight saving time our standard national time, or our year-round standard. I love the idea. I would love that. Just to have a little more light in the afternoon. My God, it'd be awesome. Hello, TC, by the way. So a lot of people are saying that daylight savings time is much better than standard time. Someone who says, but here's someone who says, no, we need to lock the clock on standard time. Daylight saving time is a mandate for early waking. Sleep is one of the pillars of good health and well-being. Permanent standard time can help. What? You can sleep in the dark. Anyway, I don't know. Okay, I got an idea. Let's do a poll. For our Americans here. Not Q&A. I don't know Q&A. I want to do a poll. Here we go. Here's the poll. If we fixed time, meaning it's you choose one or the other, which would you rather make permanent? Choice 1, standard time. Choice 2, daylight savings time. All right, there's your choices. Wait, what? There we go. Wait, what? Did I have too many words? Oh, that works. What the hell? I don't want another option. Okay, there we go. There's the poll for today for you Americans who have to deal with daylight saving time. Good morning. 1, 2, 3. Ha, ha, ha. All right, enough about that. Next on the dial, Drewski. If you're familiar with Drewski, he's kind of an internet celebrity type of dude. And apparently he's been linked to some of the Diddy party stuff, him and Odell Beckham Jr. And the stories they've told have been pretty wild. But if Drewski came out yesterday and said, hey, hold up. Hey, he said the allegation is a fabricated lie. I wasn't a public figure in 2018. I was broke, living with my mom without any connections to the entertainment industry at the time of this allegation. So the inclusion of my name is truly outlandish. My heart breaks for actual victims of abuse, but I'm fully confident that the evidence will expose this falsehood and the individuals who are maliciously trying to game the legal system to peddle false narratives. Okay, so Drewski, if you're not familiar with, I've seen Drewski. You may not know who he is. It's this dude. He's been in national commercials, but this is so this is Drewski. I don't know. This is some spoof he did with Diddy. Okay, so this is who Drewski is. You'll recognize him. You probably had no idea who this guy is, but you see him in commercials and stuff all the time.
Don't mind if I do.
Okay, so this is Drewski, and apparently he's in Diddy's house. And that guy, that's Drewski. Okay, if you're not sure who that is, and then, but anyway, so. I don't care, but it's everyone's talking about it. And I thought it was funny too because where is it? Oh, it's not there. It's something about him jumping on somebody all baby oiled up and stuff. But then there was a time when someone asked him some questions about being at Diddy parties. And I know some of this just bores the hell out of most of you, but where is it? Where is his interview when he gets all nervous? Here, is this the one? Here, what's this one? Here it is.
Were you at any of the Diddy parties, or did you miss that?
What the Where did that come? How did that? Of all questions.
When did you miss that train?
How did that go?
That train might have left the
That
station,
train took
but
off
you
from
were
the
right
station.
there.
Yeah,
You
that
were
train,
right there to
that
get on
train
that.
took off from the station for sure.
You were close.
Yeah. I wasn't at that train station.
You left early? You left early?
No, that was down the street from me. I wasn't there. No.
So anyway, there's another one where he gets all nervous and someone started asking about Diddy parties. But anyway, that's for all of you who care about Drewski. It's interesting. Oh, here's what it is. So Drewski and Odell Beckham named in Diddy lawsuit. A legal dispute has escalated with new amendments to the lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs, naming NFL star Odell Beckham Jr. and comedian Drewski as defendants in the allegations related to an incident in 2018. Both individuals have been accused by the plaintiff, Ashley Parham, of grapes, idiom, with descriptions of bizarre and non-consensual acts. Drewski has publicly denied these allegations, stating he was not involved in the entertainment industry at the time of the alleged incident. So that's what's going on, and Drewski. And for most of you, nobody cares. Good morning, Evan S. What's up? Thank you, Avocados Daily. You are the first sponsor and the new Streamlab Superstar sponsor of the day. Avocados Daily says, fuck it, let's just extinguish the sun and be done with this idiotic argument once and for all. If you cannot play with your toys nicely, you do not deserve them. Well, there you go. I suppose. Looks like Standard Time is winning just barely. You got like 3 more minutes to vote. Of course, only 23 people voted. How many people are even here? How many people are here right now? Oh, 38 people here. God, dog. Hello. There must be, because I said something about Canadians and all the Canadians showed up. That's what it was. Good morning, number one. Hi, how are you? All right, moving on. And just breaking news or news. Here's a few items from the Daily Wire and also on X, but I'm using the Daily Wire article. Apparently, the Secret Service has shot a man near the White House after an armed confrontation. And here's the story. The United States Secret Service personnel shot an armed man near the White House early Sunday morning. The agency said the individual had parked a car near 17th and F Street, as in F as in Frank, northwest, close to an entrance to the White House and the Eisenhower Executive Office building. The Secret Service said President Donald Trump is in Florida for the weekend, staying at Mar-a-Lago, but was not in the vicinity when the shooting occurred. Earlier on Saturday, local police shared information about a suicidal individual who may be traveling to Washington, D.C. from Indiana. I'm going back to Indiana. The Secret Service said in a statement, around midnight, members of the Secret Service encountered the individual parked a vehicle near 17th and Ave Street, blah, blah, blah. They saw an individual on foot matching the description nearby. As officers approached, the individual brandished a firearm and an armed confrontation ensued, during which shots were fired by our personnel. Why is there a big gap there? Secret Service shot the man, who was transported to an area hospital. The statement said the man's condition is unknown and that there were no reported injuries to the Secret Service personnel. So, what the hell was that? Oh my gosh, look who's in the chat. Katie did skate, what's up? I haven't seen you in a long time. Welcome back, girl. Right on, like to hear it. So anyway, that happened. And then also, there was another plane crash over the weekend. I watched a bunch of the idiots on X saying, Donald Trump, plane crash, Donald Trump, plane crash. This shit had nothing to do with Donald Trump. I'm just saying. So anyway, there's another fire and medical crews are responding to a plane crash off Airport Road near Brethren Village in Manheim Township. Lancaster County-wide communication dispatchers received reports shortly after 3:15 p.m. That a small aircraft crashed near a parking lot at Brethren Village. The crash ignited fires involving the plane and multiple vehicles. Now, apparently everyone escaped from this, though. Well, maybe. Yeah, look, here it is. Emergency crews on the scene reported that a total of 5 people were injured in the incident. Dispatchers were unable to comment on the extent of the injuries. Brian Pipkin, a Lidditz resident who was visiting Brethren Village at the time of the crash, said he was driving on Airport Road when he saw a plane flying low. He said, I don't know what played into it, but it veered left and it just nosedived. Pipkin said he couldn't tell if the plane struck a parking lot at Brethren Village or a building. He called 911. Pipkin said he saw 2 people laying on the grass nearby, covered in black marks. Wasn't sure if they were ejected from the plane or not. Videos of the scene have been shared on social media. So yeah, it was all over social media, and all the idiot. Now, the way the mainstream media has treated this too. This was just like, I think it wasn't even it might have been a 2-seater. It wasn't like a commercial airline, but the mainstream media shamelessly attempted to tie the crash to President Trump, Elon Musk, and the Department of Government Efficiency, aka DOGE, aka the United States Digital Service. NBC's Tom Costello reported on the crash by stating, quote, "This is going to be yet another this is going to yet again raise the concern about FAA staffing, air traffic control staffing," suggesting a link between the crash and staffing issues at the FAA. Costello went on to question whether air traffic control staffing issues in the United States had anything to do with the incident in Canada. I mean, look, by the way, if you go look on the FAA site, plane crashes are about half of what they were last year this time. But every crash, which there are plane crashes all the time. In fact, but usually small planes. You don't have big commercial airliners. It's just rare for a commercial airliner to crash. They might have accidents on the tarmac shit, but who knows? But anyway, and there was a rash of incidents from last year while Buttigieg was the transportation secretary. But here's how they continued. And yet, as you also know, the FAA has been complaining for years that they are understaffed in critical job positions, especially air traffic control. I was having a conversation with somebody today about whether air traffic control in America is being affected by the staff cuts. So far, not to their knowledge. Now, the article continues here. In the weeks following the devastating mid-air collision at Reagan National Airport in January, the Federal Aviation Administration hiring practices have come under intense scrutiny. Yeah, the hiring practices from prior to this administration, when they were turning people away who scored extremely high on the aptitude test, but not on the social engineering test, if you know what I mean. So anyway, this tragic accident involving the tragic accident involving an American Airlines plane and a U.S. Army helicopter claimed all 67 lives. And at PJ Media, they say, "We have extensively covered the FAA's staffing crisis, driven by DEI initiatives under the Obama and Biden that prioritize diversity quotas over merit, leading to the rejection of highly qualified white applicants."
You're fucking a white male!
So anyway, the rest of the story's there. But, the fact that they tried to tie every plane crash or every plane incident to Donald Trump since January 20th, 2025, which I believe is 47 days ago. Do you think that everything in the last 47 days caused all these accidents? Or was there a problem beforehand? Just a rhetorical question. All right, so Standard Time wins barely. Looks like I'm going to end the poll because it's a dumb poll. And did everyone, by the way, if you haven't seen at the top there, today is National Ranch Dressing Day. Please click that link above and wish Ranting Monkey happy National Ranch Dressing Day. So I want to see how many people we can get to do it. All right. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. Another sponsor of the show. Another small bullet. Avocados Diablo says, "Dude finally found a parking spot in D.C. and got himself shot over it. Parking really is murder in some cities." Oh, that's dark. That's dark. That's dark. Damn. Good morning, Episkipos Helsung. How you doing? Welcome. All right, next, I'm still in the breaking news end of the thing. Now, over in Portugal, we've had an incident also, and thank you, Swamp Fox Ghost, for sending me this. Apparently, an oil tanker that was either docked or whatever in Portugal, or moored, whatever you call it, a U.S. flagged oil tanker, MT Stina Immaculate, was struck this morning by the Portuguese flagged cargo. Oh, it wasn't in Portugal. by the Portuguese flag cargo vessel MV Solong while at anchor off the coast of the UK in the North Sea, resulting in a massive fire which has now engulfed the Stena Immaculate. The crew of the vessel has been evacuated to lifeboats, and search and rescue operations by helicopters of His Majesty's Coast Guard is ongoing. So I wonder if this has something to do with the air traffic controllers. No. Here's a couple. The Daily Mail also posted about this. Oil tanker cargo ship on fire after colliding in the North Sea. U.S. flag tanker MV Stena Immaculate was hit while at anchor by the Portugal flag container ship MV Solong. Now you got to remember, now we've talked about this a couple weeks ago, how there's a lot of ships out in the ocean that may be flagged as being from a country, but actually belong to different countries who are trying to circumvent the sanctions, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, so only one of them collided, correct. That's interesting. Yeah, after colliding in the North Sea. The cargo ship collided with the oil tanker because the oil tanker was anchored. Anyway, so here's some footage of it. I don't know if this is there's sound in this, maybe. Oh, this just has music. I don't need music you can see it. Anyway, it's on fire, and it may be causing an environmental hazard. If it's an oil tanker, it's full of oil. So here's something called the informant on March 10th. An oil tanker, MV Stena Immaculate, blah, 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 burst into flames after being struck by a container ship while anchored off the Humber estuary near Hull, Yorkshire. Did I say Yorkshire right? Any Englanders or Great Britainers in there that I said Yorkshire? Is that correct? Good morning, bookworm addict. The collision reported at 9:48 a.m. So that was about 7 hours ago, almost exactly 7 hours ago. Because I know that the Brits are. No, that's 6 hours ago. Are the Brits 6? I forget because we're on daylight saving time. See, that messes me up. Now I don't know if it's 6 hours, 7 hours, could be 8 hours. I don't know. But anyway, it was not that long ago. It raised concerns of potential environmental disaster due to the tanker's cargo of oil and chemicals. Both vessels are now ablaze, producing large plumes of black smoke and an uncontrolled inferno. Major rescue operation is underway, coordinated by the HM Coast Guard. It's His Majesty's Coast Guard. Now that messes me up because there's a king, not a queen anymore. So you got to say His Majesty's Royal Coast Guard, involving search and rescue helicopters, lifeboats from the Skegness, Bridlington, Mablethorpe, and Claythorpes, fixed-wing aircraft, and nearby vessels with firefighting capabilities. Specialist firefighting ships have also been deployed. The incident remains ongoing with no confirmed reports of injuries at this time. Yeah, that's a pretty messy looking blaze there. I got to tell you, that's the cargo ship. Oh, it's both of them because they're still sitting there together. Wow. So that's look at that shit. Yeah, and it's an oil tanker, so there's going to be some oil spillage. All right, there we go. Oh, and then the Krasensteins are on it too. You got breaking. Foul play isn't being ruled out by the White House after U.S. oil tanker Stena Immaculate was hit by a Portuguese cargo ship Solong while anchored off the coast of East Yorkshire, England. This, quote, oil tanker provides essential capacity to the Department of Defense and U.S. Navy, end quote, per Maritime News G Captain. So, yeah, it could be foul play. You never know. Again, so what I was hinting to earlier is there are a number of Russian ships out in the ocean that are circumventing sanctions by flying the flags of other countries. So there you go. By the way, thank you, CG, Reaction on Puerto Rico, Resolute Germ, Kirsten Shull, K Shull, and Swan Fox Goes for retweeting the show today. I greatly appreciate it. And moving on, what else do we got? Here's some this is interesting. at Columbia University, by the way, if you haven't been paying attention to Columbia University, President Trump has, what did he do? He froze funding on Columbia University because of the major protests going on about Palestine. Now, here's where this is where I will, I don't know, push back on Trump, whatever. Well, here, let me just read this first, and I'll come back to what I was going to say. Trump administration strips Columbia University of $400 million in grants. Already threatened higher education institutions to pull federal funding over illegal protests. Now, I'm not sure what an illegal protest is. This is a free speech country, and I wouldn't want the Biden administration, jailing or whatever people for doing abortion protests. But anyway, here's it is. The Free Press learned that President Donald Trump stripped Columbia University of $400 million in grants. Leo Terrell, head of the DOJ's anti-Semitism task force, said the funding cuts are only the beginning. Universities must comply with all federal anti-discrimination laws if they're going to receive federal funding, Education Secretary Linda McMahon said in a statement. For too long, Columbia has abandoned that obligation to Jewish students studying on its campus. Now, the part of the problem is at Columbia, isn't that where they barricaded some Jewish students into a room at one time, and they're harassing a bunch of Jewish students over the Palestine stuff, right? So that's happened, right? Well, apparently, too, someone named Mahmoud Khalil is trending. Mahmoud Khalil. And he has been arrested by ICE. He's one of the leaders of the pro-Palestinian protest encampments. They have this big, encampment. They took over the entire, area between the quads or whatever, between the dorms, and they basically have their own little, not necessarily a Chad kind of thing, but they've taken over. They're all intense, and they're trying to get people to leave, whatever. Well, this guy Mohammed Khalil is one of the leaders of the pro-Palestine protest encampments at Columbia, and apparently he's having his student visa and green card revoked by the State Department because he has made many statements in support of Hamas and some of the terrorist activities of Hamas. So here is, someone here says really straightforward why Mahmoud Khalil's getting deported. You don't get to endorse or espouse terrorist activity as a non-citizen, even if you have a green card. And this guy says, bye-bye. So here what it is. Here's I guess this is the law on this. Let's see here. In general, any alien who is engaged or at any time after admission engages in any activity to violate any law of the United States related to espionage or sabotage, or to violate or evade any law prohibiting the export of United States goods, technology, or sensitive information, blah, 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 blah. And then under here, terrorist activities. Any alien who is described in subparagraph of section blah, blah, blah of this title is deportable. And then they also reference this here. Terrorist activities, and under section 7, endorses or espouses terrorist activity or persuades others to endorse or espouse terrorist activity or support terrorist organizations, which this guy has done. Kind of not, the October 7th terrorist attacks and Hamas. And then down here, terrorist activity is defined in section 2, the seizing or detaining and threatening to kill, injure, or continue to detain another individual in order to compel a third person, including a governmental organization, to do so or abstain from doing any act as an explicit or implicit condition for the release of the individual seized or detained. So detaining someone against their will. And so, Mr. Mahmoud is having his green card revoked, and there is people talking about it. Now, this right here, this is only a minute long, so we can play this. ICE arrested Palestinian student Mahmoud Khalil at Columbia University on Saturday for his involvement in violent pro-Hamas protests against Jewish students on campus. Khalil is having his green card revoked, and he'll be deported. This guy says good, more arrests and deportations. He's here on the grace of the United States.
Lawyer says Khalil was inside his university-owned residence last night near Columbia's campus when authorities acted on State Department orders to revoke Khalil's student visa. But when told he was a permanent resident with a green card, the lawyer says an agent told her they were revoking that as well. The arrest appears to be among the first known actions under President Trump's pledge to deport international students who joined the campus protests against Israel's war in Gaza. In a statement today, Columbia did not comment on the reported arrest, but acknowledged reports of ICE, quote, in the streets around campus. It says the university has and will continue to follow the law. We've reached out to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, but so far...
Okay, I don't care about that part. Anyway, so I reread the portion of the laws that they're citing for arresting and revoking this guy's green card. Good morning, Jethro Hedor, by the way. So then you have, now we're going to watch two different, or look at two different versions of the story and see how, if I haven't read them, I'm just reading them cold, but I want to see how the AP treats this. And then we're going to see how the Daily Wire treats this, and see how I'm just checking kind of for language differences and how they spin it. So here's the AP article. Federal immigration authorities arrested a Palestinian activist Saturday who played a prominent role in Columbia University's protest against Israel, a significant escalation in the Trump administration's pledge to detain and deport student activists. Mahmoud Khalil, a graduate student at Columbia until this past December, was inside his university-owned apartment Saturday night when several immigration customs enforcement agents entered and took him into custody. His attorney, Amy Greer, told the Associated Press. Sounds like that TV station basically just read the Associated Press story. Greer said she spoke by phone with one of the ICE agents during the arrest, who said they were acting on State Department orders to revoke Khalil's student visa. Informed by the attorney that Khalil was in the United States as a permanent resident with a green card, the agent said they were revoking that instead, according to the lawyer. The spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security, Tricia McLaughlin, confirmed Khalil's arrest in a statement Sunday, describing it as being in support of President Trump's executive order prohibiting anti-Semitism. Now, my area here where I loathe, L-O-A-T-H-E, anti-Semites, but I also don't, I am also a free speech absolutist. Are those in conflict? No, I can... So if you're an anti-Semite, I think you're an asshole. Are you allowed to speak your mind? Yes, you are. But are you allowed to break the law? No, you're not. So there's not a whole lot of conflict with, at least with me and Mahmoud losing his green card when you read the law. Now, Khalil's arrest is the first publicly known deportation effort under Trump's promised crackdown on students who joined protests against the war in Gaza that swept college campuses last spring. Now, notice how they're staying away from what we read as part of the law. Notice how they're treating this as, oh, this was just a student protester. Wait, YouTube is deleting comments about our parents. What the F? I didn't even use any bad language. I just said I disagree with Trump about his support of our parents, and it disappeared. I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah, no, I know. He's not losing it over speech. He's losing it over actions. And I think that must have come up. I must be about a 15-second lag between the chat and me talking. Anyway, McLaughlin signaled the arrest was directly in connection to Khalil's role in the protests, alleging he led activities aligned to Hamas, a designated terrorist organization. Again, and that's kind of... Support for terrorist organizations could be a reason to lose your green card. As ICE agents arrived at Khalil's Manhattan residence Saturday night, they also threatened to arrest Khalil's wife, an American citizen who is 8 months pregnant. Oh, they needed to get that emotional dig in there. Khalil's attorney said they were initially... Oh, I don't need that. I don't... Fuck you. Khalil's attorney said they were initially informed that he was being held in an immigration detention facility in Elizabeth, New Jersey, but when his wife tried to visit Sunday, she learned he was not there. Greer said she did not know Khalil's whereabouts as of Sunday night. Uh-oh. Did they take him to a black site? We have not been able to get any more details about why he is being detained, Greer told the AP. I think they told you. He's involved. He's supporting terror activities. This is a clear escalation. The administration is following through on its threats. Threats are promises. Yeah, way one or the other. Columbia University spokesman said that law enforcement agents must produce a warrant before entering university property, but declined to say if the school had received one ahead of Khalil's arrest. The spokesperson declined to comment on Khalil's detention. In a message shared on X Sunday evening, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the administration will be revoking the visas or green cards of Hamas supporters in America so they can be deported. The Department of Homeland Security can initiate deportation proceedings against green card holders for a broad range of alleged criminal activities, including supporting a terror group. But this is from the AT. The detention of a legal permanent resident who has not been charged with a crime marked an extraordinary move without an uncertain legal foundation, according to immigration experts. Now that's concerning. You know, if he hasn't been charged with anything, are they going to charge him? Is that why they arrested him? And then they're going to charge him? I mean, are they going to go through a trial? It seems like in the United States, you'd have to go through a trial. I'm not supporting this guy at all, you know, F him, but let him go through a trial first. But I'm pretty sure there's plenty of evidence of him not only supporting Hamas, but also saying that October 7th is a good thing and stuff. Maybe, I'm assuming there's got to be something concrete that they can go to that law and say, yep, this is what he did, this is what he did, your actions, you occupied this place, you led a movement that basically had people hostage for a period of time. Those are all illegal activities that warrant sending your ass back to wherever you're from. Now, and then we get from, has the appearance of a retaliatory action against someone who has expressed an opinion the Trump administration didn't like, said Camille Mackler, founder of the Immigrant ARC, a coalition of legal service providers in New York, an NGO. Khalil, who received a master's degree from Columbia School of International Affairs last semester, served as a negotiator for students as they bargained with the university officials over an end to the tent encampment erected on campus last spring. And there's a little more, but let's go read the Daily Wire's account of this, which would seem that would have a different slant, you would think, but we'll see. I mean, it is the Daily Wire. Enough said. Over the weekend, this is the Daily Wire. Over the weekend, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, agents reportedly detained an activist who participated in the anti-Israel protests at Columbia University last spring. Fox News' Alexis McAdams posted on X that sources told her that Mahmoud Khalil, identified as the lead negotiator for the Gaza Solidarity Encampment, who graduated in December, was taken into custody by ICE at his university-owned apartment in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. It's interesting. He's Upper West Side of Manhattan. He's got to have some money to live there. Oh, or is it it's a university-owned apartment. Okay, never mind. She also noted that student groups are demanding his release. Of course they are. And I would expect no less, I guess. You know, good morning, by the way, Willie. Willie is in a house. Khalil's attorney said federal authorities detained her client on Saturday night. Online records show that a Mahmoud Khalil from Syria is in ICE custody at a detention facility in New Jersey. So here's the Alexis Adam post on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. The arrest seems to be linked to a new State Department catch and revoke effort first reported by Axios, in which the visas of foreign nationals who appear to be pro-Hamas are canceled. An unnamed official cited by the Free Beacon and Secretary of State Marco Rubio directed the visa revocation and told the news outlet, quote, "This should serve as a warning to foreign students on temporary status in America. Under this administration, if you support terror groups, we will deport you." Khalil's attorney, Amy Greer, said federal immigration officials claimed they were acting on a State Department order to revoke her client's green card, per the Associated Press. Greer said also authorities declined to tell Khalil's wife, who was 8 months pregnant, why her husband was arrested. They could have told her. They didn't tell. Did they not tell her? Was she there? I mean, they say why they were taking him. We have not been able to get any more details about why he's being detained, Greer told the AP. This is a clear escalation. The administration is following through with threats. So they quoted the AP there. A State Department spokesman told the Daily Wire that visa records were confidential under U.S. law. Therefore, we cannot comment on individual visa cases. The spokesman added, for questions on removals or green card status, we refer you to the Department of Homeland Security. The Daily Wire has also reached out to Homeland Security, a parent agency for ICE, for comment. And then they got the Columbia statement from the AP. Protests erupted at Columbia University. And others, okay, that's from October 7th on. So there you go. And then just quotes from the AP. So looks like both stuck to factual, although the slight language differences can show a little bit of the bias between the two different outlets, but they were pretty forward, straight news. Let's see. Green card holders don't have to be charged to be removed. The government can just decide we have too many, and off you go if it comes to it. There you go. I think the threshold may be lower. I don't know how it works. And so maybe that's some information that I needed to learn from you, Mr. Willie. Thank you very much. All right. But by the way, I did have to show you one tweet of someone who's kind of mad about this and wanted to pull on your heartstrings. And it sucks because, I mean, look, I can't imagine having your wife being 8 months pregnant and you getting about to be deported, right? That would suck. So this person writes, this man has a wife who is 8 months pregnant. He is being held in ICE custody. Free Mahmoud. I feel for his wife. I feel for the unborn child. And it's the risk you take if you participate in illegal activities when you have a green card and you're an immigrant. I'll let you decide in the chat. Moving on. And then it's, again, Columbia has already been stripped of $400 million in grants. Although I don't know, I guarantee you, and this is the article I was talking about before from Legal Insurrection, Trump administration strips Columbia $400 million in grants. We read the beginning of it. I'm sure that some judge in some, corner of someone's butthole is going to, have an injunction on the freeze in $400 million in grants that probably were already approved by Congress or some agency. But I don't know if grants are set in stone. If another administration decides that's a stupid grant and we can revoke it at any time, we'll see how that goes. All right, let's move on to Ukraine because I got to get through this to get to the Canada stuff. Well, let's do the Canada stuff first, and then we'll go to Ukraine. This is the international section of the show that I decided to do today. Let's start with Canada so I can get to the main topic. Oh, Canada. You just elected a new prime minister, and that would be Mark Carney. That would be another World Economic Forum, not even advocate. What's a good word for someone who just cheerleads for the World Economic Forum? Cheerleader. There we go. Justin Trudeau's replacement. President Trump thinks Canada will cave in. Oh, this is we will never bow down to a bully. Oh, this is something that he said about the upcoming trade war, I guess. So I guess we're gonna have a trade war with Canada. I'm still confused about the whole trade war with Canada. And I don't know who can last in a trade war longer between Canada and the United States. The United States or Canada? Because, we about less than 2% of our GDP is Canadian shit, and 30% of their GDP is American shit. And I think with 330 million people and ability to produce some shit ourselves, although I'm kind of worried about the electricity in northern Minnesota and Michigan and wherever else they supply electricity to. But I'm not sure who's going to last longer. But here's Mark Carney, the other guy. Oh, wait. Good morning, Tyre. Alexander. Scourge. Good morning, sir. So anyway, this is Mark Carney.
President.
He's going to talk tough. He's going to talk tough. Is it like things super expensive there already? And I mean, it's tough to do. Oh, by the way, someone keeps posting these charts of Canadian tariffs and, showing milk at $2.50. I didn't realize that was, I think it's called oversales or something like that, when they have some limits to how much American product they can import. And there's tariffs on those things, like, remember it was milk 270%, blah blah blah. But that's after they get past the limit, the volume limits is when they start doing those tariffs. But they're still Canada does have tariffs on American goods, and but I don't know the exact numbers. So here's Mark Carney talking like he's a tough guy.
President Trump thinks Canada will cave in. We will never, ever bow down to a bully.
Okay. I mean, this is what he's supposed to be saying, though. I don't blame him for saying this.
Canadians will always stick together. And we won't stand by as tariffs hurt our workers and their families. Canadians need to remain united. Now, let me be clear. This situation, unfortunately, could not be more serious. And at times like these, we need serious leadership and a serious plan. I'm ready to stand up for Canada. Who's with me?
All right, so that was before the election. Well, Canada has chosen Mark Carney as the new prime minister, immediately takes a shot at Trump over this trade war. 51st state comments, and something to the quote they put up here is, "Will destroy our way of life." Here's something, my friendly Canadians and Americans, that I think, as far as the idea of making Canada a 51st state, I think it's a terrible idea, because Canada just voted in Mark Carney as a new prime minister. And look, if we actually did decide to combine the two countries, I don't think you could necessarily take Canada as one single state. I mean, you almost would have to take the provinces, and then we would have, how many? I don't even know how many provinces there are in Canada. 7, 6? I don't know. But, and I feel bad that I don't know that. I probably should know that. But then we would have to have at least 2 additional senators, at least 2 more electoral college votes, and Canada is always voting liberal, and I just don't think we need that. So let's just, someone maybe make California part of Canada or something like that. I don't know. It'd be adding another California to the union, and we don't need another fucking California. Canadians, speak up. Which is it? I don't even know the number. No, we don't need another California added to the United States. Just let Canada be Canada. We'll figure out the whole trade thing and maybe get some tariffs, back down to nothing. Which, because I sort of understand Canadians doing tariffs on Americans good, because we would overwhelm them economically if they didn't. But I'm not, Anyway, let me read this article. Mark Carney, the former head of the UK and Canadian central banks, lucky, was named Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's successor Sunday and immediately fired shot at President Trump in his victory speech. Carney, 59, overwhelmingly won the race to lead the country's federal Liberal Party on Sunday after taking home 86% of the ballots. That's of the Liberal Party, making him the first outsider with no real political background to become Canada's Prime Minister. I keep saying Canadian. I can't help it. The longtime banker will now. This guy's a big WEF guy too, just like Trudeau. The longtime banker will take the reins of Canada during a contentious period between the country and the U.S., as Trump has threatened to impose additional tariffs that would cripple the northern country's export-dependent economy, and to make Canada the 51st state. I don't want him to be the 51st state. I wish he'd stop even joking about that. If he's just joking about that, stop. I don't know. We don't need it. Canada is fine on their own. We've kind of taken over hockey, and we can make our own shit if we need to. But we've always had a decent relationship with Canada. Anyway, except for in 1812. But here's another quote: "America is not Canada, and Canada never, ever will be a part of America in any way, shape, or form," Carney said in a speech Sunday. Well, now, see, when they say never ever, then I'm like, oh shit, we're gonna get Canada. We didn't ask for this fight, but Canadians are always ready when someone else drops the gloves. He continued, the Americans want our resources, our water, our land. Our water, look, you can't stop the water. You can try, but we got water too. Anyway, our water, our land, our country, Carney said, think about it. If they succeed, they will destroy our way of life. Well, is your way of life actually any better than ours? They're very similar. I don't think it was destroy your way of life. We don't want Canada. Anyway, on the campaign trail, Carney emphasized that his economic experience made him the best candidate to grapple with Trump and his tariff agenda. Carney beat out former finance minister Chrystia Freeland, thank God. She would have been worse. Former government House leader Karina Gould and former member of Parliament Frank Baylis in a contest in which just under 152,000 party members voted. It's not clear when Carney will formally assume office. He and Trudeau are expected to meet in the coming days to determine the outgoing prime minister's final day at the helm. Let me ask you, Canadians, my fellow Canadians, are you going to miss Justin Castro? Probably not. The Wall Street Whiz threw his hat in the race to succeed Trudeau in January, just a week after the incumbent announced he would resign before completing his term. Carney has never run for elected office before, making him somewhat of a political novice. However, he has served in various roles with the Canadian government for more than a decade, most recently as Trudeau's appointed chair of the Liberal Parties of Canada's Task Force on Economic Growth. He previously served as the governor of the Bank of Canada before becoming the first non-Brit to run the Bank of England since it was founded in 1694. During his campaign, Carney proposed dollar-for-dollar retaliatory tariffs against the United States, saying that Canadia's growth under Trudeau was not good enough. In a teary-eyed farewell speech, oh my God! I'm sorry. I don't know why I laughed at that. In a teary-eyed farewell speech, Trudeau alluded to the tense relationship between Canada and the U.S. that has emerged since Trump announced 25% tariffs on Canadian goods. These past 10 days have been challenging. Crisis after crisis has been thrown at Canadians, but through every crisis, Canadians have shown who they are. They pulled together, we've stood up for each other, and every single time we've emerged even stronger, Trudeau said to a roar of cheers. How was my Trudeau impression? And now Canadians face from our neighbor an existential challenge, an economic crisis. Canadians are showing exactly what they are made of. Maple syrup? Red Mountie uniforms? I don't know. I'm just making fun of Trudeau, not my fellow Canadians, because my fellow Canadians are a lot like us Minnesotans. I just got to tell you, hey, and we have the same climate. Anyway, Trudeau, who has served as prime minister since 2015, also said it was time for a new chapter in Canada's future. Don't get me wrong. I'm damn proud of what we've done over these past 10 years. But tonight is about our future as a party, as a country. Oh, as a country. Okay, that's it. Before stepping down. Select the Voice says you have to speak French to sound like Trudeau. LOL. I don't know. You don't. You don't have to. You don't have to. So anyway, yeah, Canada is, and then here's Mark Carney's trending just because. Mark Carney is a WEF, World Economic Forum globalist, post-national state lunatic, net zero, and designer of Canada's rapid descent into poverty and irrelevance. SOS, we are not okay. That's someone named Cat Canada. And she posted this Jordan Peterson talk on Mark Carney. Billboard Chris says Mark Carney is the new unelected Prime Minister of Canada. My weakness is, people will charge me as being an elitist or, a globalist. To use that term, which is, here, I'll just play it because how long is this clip?
My strength is I know.
Here it is. Here's Mark Carney. Thank you, JB, dropping a deuce Canadian style, saying, Our news is about as accurate as yours is, LOL. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's we're gonna be. Oh, yeah. That we don't need Canada. Oh, he's with Scaramucci. Here's Mark Carney.
My strength is I know how the world works. I know how to get things done.
I love when they say I know how to get things done. That's something Biden used to say a lot.
Connected. I can deliver for the country. And my weakness is
That's
people will charge me as being elitist or a globalist. To
you
use
kind of
that,
are.
term,
You're a WF guy.
Well,
Come
that's
on,
exactly,
man.
it happens to be exactly what we need. My
lion dog face pony
weakness
soldier.
as a politician is I've not been a politician, right? So I didn't go straight into, as you observed, the killer. The point was right, but the delivery was. I'm working on it.
Oh, it was funny watching Trudeau speak French to avoid the tough questions from the Parliament. Oh yeah, he does that. Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Right? So anyway, meet Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney. Picture here alongside notorious child sex trafficker. Oh my God, he's next to his Ghislaine Maxwell. Pictures of him and Ghislaine together. Oh no, this wasn't just a gathering. It took place at Carney's sister-in-law's estate, Cornbury Park, a known hotspot for globalist elites. Is Mark Carney a client of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell? Oh, I don't want to know. Anyway, Canada didn't get to vote for the new prime minister. I don't understand how that works. They got another commie nut job. Mark Carney, he believes in zero carbon emissions. So yeah, here he is talking about net zero. So he's probably going to love to, make sure that carbon tax gets back into place or whatever they're doing with it right now.
Skepticism about ESG labels or sustainable labels. And that, again, is one of the reasons we're having this ruthless, relentless focus on net zero. Because in the end, look, we can't stabilize the climate unless we get to net zero.
Good Lord.
And it's as simple. These are hard numbers. Your emissions are either A or B. They're going up or down. And if they're going down, are they going down consistent with the science? We anchor it in the science. The same
with
science.
The science. If you actually look at the science, we're at historically low temperatures on this planet. If you look at the ice cores and shit, so we've been low for a long time for the most of our existence. So, and warmer temperatures means more crops, more trees, more green, more carbon, more trees, more food. So, yeah, and the oceans haven't risen as they expected. Florida's supposed to have been underwater Florida's supposed to be underwater 20 years ago. Did you know that? The first time they said Florida would be underwater in 10 years. That was 20 years ago. Yeah, their predictions haven't led to shit. And all those islands that people are supposed to be dying in, they're supposed to disappear. Nope, haven't done it. More hurricanes? No, there have been less. It's just everything they say is just bullshit. So anyway, Governor Trudeau is officially out, and it was replaced by another leftist, Mark Carney, as PM of Canada, receiving 85.9% of the vote of those who voted. Canada didn't vote on him, just the party did. All right, thank you, Avocados Diablo, another small bullet in the tip jar, saying, never mind that investment firm that Carney helped engineer the move from Canada to New York City to avoid the taxes he advocates for. Yeah, that's right. His company moved from Canada to New York City. I mean, wow, that's like jumping from the fire into the ashes, but whatever. Okay, is that everything I had about Canada? Let's go back to let's talk about Ukraine for a little bit. Got a couple notes on Ukraine. I was sent this article. It's called Ukraine War Briefing. This is from The Guardian. Apparently thousands of Kyiv's troops in Kursk are nearly surrounded by Russian forces, according to a report. Thousands of Ukrainian troops who stormed into Russia's Kursk region last August are almost surrounded by Russian forces there in a major blow to Kyiv, which hoped to use its presence as leverage over Moscow in any peace talks, Reuters has reported, citing open source maps. The news agency said the maps showed the Ukraine situation in Kursk had deteriorated sharply in the past 3 days after Russian forces retook the territory as part of a gathering of counteroffensive gathering counteroffensive that has nearly cut Ukrainian force in two and separated the main group from its principal supply lines. The situation for Ukraine comes after Washington suspended its intelligence sharing with Kyiv and raises the possibility that its forces may be forced into retreat back into Ukraine or risk being captured or killed. The situation for Ukraine in Kursk is very bad, said Pasi Payonin, a military analyst with the Finland-based Blackbird Group. Jan Martviv, another analyst, said Ukraine had a difficult choice to make. About 3/4 of the Ukrainian force inside Russia was now almost completely encircled, according to the open source mapping that on Friday from Deep State, an authoritative Ukrainian military blogging resource. It showed that troops were joined to the remaining Ukrainian force located closer to the Russian border by a land corridor about 1 kilometer long and less than 500 meters wide at its narrowest point, as Russian forces moved to cut that off too. So they're in shit creek right now. Deep State said Russian forces were also pressuring Kyiv's positions in the border area with the Sumy region and moving to try to block supply to Ukrainian forces inside Kursk. Also, Russia carried out huge ballistic missile and drone strikes across Ukraine a day after the U.S. stopped sharing intelligence with Kyiv, which had previously given advance warnings of attacks. Strikes came early on Friday as Ukrainian delegation prepared to meet with U.S. counterparts in Saudi Arabia next week for talks about a possible end of the war. Report Luke Harding, and that's who the report's by. In a post on Truth Social, Donald Trump appeared to criticize Russia's latest bombardment. The U.S. president posted, based on the fact that Russia is absolutely pounding Ukraine on the battlefield right now, I am strongly considering a large-scale banking sanctions and tariffs on Russia until a ceasefire and a final settlement agreement on peace is reached. So he's going to use economic, looks like he wants to use economic pressure on Russia to stop this shit, so to speak. And there's more on, so that's the Guardian's, if you want to read the rest, the Guardian does a full rundown on what's going on as of, this was late Friday, so over the weekend, there's probably some more news. Other countries, Syria was also trending this morning. Let's do Greenland first because it's short and sweet. Apparently, Donald Trump posted this on Truth the other day or recently. He said, as I made clear during my joint address to Congress, the United States strongly supports the people of Greenland's right to determine their own future. We will continue to keep you safe as we have since World War II. We are ready to invest billions of dollars to create new jobs and make you rich. And if you so choose, we welcome you to be a part of the greatest nation anywhere in the world, the United States of America. So he's offering some salvo to Greenland and maybe against Denmark. I don't know. Look. Oh, here it is. Trump makes a bold proposal to acquire Greenland. President Trump has announced a big plan to invest billions into Greenland, aiming to integrate the island as a U.S. territory. Trump touts the strategic importance of Greenland resources and location, calling it a game changer for America. The proposal includes funding for infrastructure, energy projects, and military bases to bolster U.S. presence in the Arctic. Trump argues that the move would counter China and Russia growing influence in the region. So there's a video for it, but I'm not going to play it. So that's the latest on Greenland. And then also Syria is trending. Apparently, where's the we got North Korea too. In Syria, Syrian Christians are being attacked by this new government that they ousted Assad. Terrorists are killing Christians in Syria, and the media stays silent. Syrian Christians, here's a video by a Syrian Christian man releases a heart-wrenching plea for the world to protect Syria's Christians. We're going to watch this one.
I'm covering my face now because I don't want anyone to see my face, because if they see me, they will kill me. I'm from Syria. I live now in the city of Latakia. Please, please, please. The media is not showing you anything. The terrorists are killing everyone, children, women, teenagers, old people. just killing. There is more than 100 body in my. There is more than 100 body in my village now. Even in the city, they are just taking the children and the women and kill them. I don't know what to do with my mom and my two sisters. Please, you gotta help us. Nobody's talking anything about it. Not the social media or the TV channels. They are all hiding the truth. They are saying that they are killing the resistance, but this is end up 2 days ago. Please, you gotta help us. They have been killing people since 2 days until now. Hundred of bodies are thrown in the street, in the villages, and in the city of Syria. We are not allowed to go out of the house. They just come to the houses, take the people, kill them outside of the house, and take all the phones so nobody record or do anything. Please, you gotta help us. I have to.
Okay, I'm not going to play the rest. You get the idea. So these rebels against Assad that we have backed are now running around Syria killing all the Christians. Radical Islamic extremists are rounding up and murdering Christians in Syria. Where are all the self-proclaimed human rights organizations? Good question, huh? Right now in Syria, no one in the West cares because it's Muslims doing the killing. That's pretty accurate. Now, there's also this quote from Trump from, just let's say way back when. Is this one of those Trump was right things?
So I've watched Assad, and I've watched a little bit on the other side. The problem is the other side of Assad, we have no idea who they are. They probably are ISIS. I'm saying, are we better off with Assad? We have no idea who these people are. We give them weapons, we give them ammunition, we give them everything. Aaron, we have no idea who. I mean, maybe it's worse than Assad. So
Could be.
What are we doing? Why are we involved? We have to get rid of ISIS, very importantly. But I look at Assad, and Assad to me looks better than the other side. And you know, this has happened before. We back a certain side, and that side turns out to be a total catastrophe. Russia likes Assad seemingly a lot. Let them worry about ISIS. Let them fight it out. So I...
It's amazing, isn't it? It reminds me when Donald Trump excoriated the Germans for their dependence on Russian oil, and the Russians laughed at him, and then where are we now? And so the United States, we helped get these terrorists to get rid of Assad, and now where are we? Because I mean, as bad as Assad was, those Christians lived there without a lot of incidents in Syria. God, I got to talk to my friend, a guy I used to work with. He's from Syria, and his family, fortunately, all moved here from Syria, immigrated here from Syria. But I know he has some relatives back there, and they're Christians, and I pray for his family. Again, they called Tulsi a Russian agent for this warning about Syrian rebels. Here's Tulsi Gabbard in the same vein.
I shed no tears for the fall of the Assad regime, but today we have an Islamist extremist who is now in charge of Syria, as I said, who danced on the streets to celebrate the 9/11 attack, who ruled over Idlib with an Islamist extremist governance, and who has already begun to persecute and kill and arrest religious minorities like Christians in Syria.
I understand.
Why that should be acceptable to anyone is beyond me.
It shouldn't
is
be.
certainly
and
not
I understand,
in our
and I appreciate.
So there you go. Yeah. Regime change doesn't always turn out the way we want it. Think Iran. I ran so far away. So anyway, I did single out that quote. North Korea. Also, I said this is the international section, and we may have finished with this. There's a bunch of stuff I got open, but I got to the main topic. And finally, North Korea. Apparently, North Korea has been launching some missiles. I laugh because it's Ed Krasenstein. It's another Krasenstein moment. Breaking. North Korea has launched ballistic missiles into the sea just hours after South Korean and U.S. military began their joint drills. Remember when Biden was president, and whenever North Korea would do this, Republicans would attack Biden as being weak? This is their 5th missile launch of the year by North Koreans under Trump. Now Republicans are completely silent. No, we're not complete. Oh, this dickhead. He plays the what about a lot. I got a feeling if they keep doing this, I think Trump might have a word with little Kim Jong-il. Which one is this one? I can't remember. It's going right? So anyway, and then they put some, people who tweeted about it, right? Well, here may be the reason why North Korea has done that. Apparently, the North Korean fighter jets accidentally dropped eight 500-pound bombs on a border city near the border. Shocking video captured the moment South Korean fighter jets on a training exercise accidentally dropped 8 bombs on a civilian area Thursday, damaging homes and injuring at least 15 people. One clip shows a car driving down a tree-lined street in Ponchen before a huge explosion consumes the screen, damaging several homes and a church in the city near the heavily militarized border with North Korea. The blast came as 2 KF-16 fighter jets, one on one drill. I don't know what that means. One day drill. It's probably on a one day drill. They just got a typo. With the U.S. military, somehow each dropped 4 500-pound MK-82 bombs just outside a firing range, South Korea's Air Force claimed. Fire officials say 15 people were wounded, including 2 seriously. 3 homes, a church, and a greenhouse were all damaged, although none appeared to have been directly hit. We are sorry for the damage caused by the abnormal drop accident. Abnormal? I would say that would be abnormal. Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. Abnormal drop incident, and we wish the injured a speedy recovery, the Air Force said in a statement. The accident reportedly unfolded after a pilot entered incorrect coordinates into the jets, a military source told Reuters. Each jet dropped 4 bombs, all of which detonated. The source said, well, good thing they didn't do it too close. I mean, if only 15 people are injured, maybe it was just the concussion effect through the village. Anyway, there was a sudden loud roar of fighter jets. That explosion rang out. When I went to the scene, there were about 4 houses that were halved from the damage. People hurt. Oh Moong-soo, a 65-year-old resident, said. Dust and smoke rose into the sky. Water gushed out of the pipe. People in a vehicle going on a construction site were injured. Some of them couldn't even get out of the car. Another was outside the car covering his eyes. Authorities said that they would suspend live fire exercises while they investigate the incident, but said it would not affect major joint South Korean and U.S. military exercises set to begin on Monday. So that may be one of the reasons that, because it was close to the border too, close to the demilitarized zone. So, but I don't know, I'm sure the White House is hearing about North Korea's missile launches into the sea. Where into the sea? Did they, when the North Koreans did these during the Biden administration, they were aimed. Did they fly missiles over Japan or really close to Japan? I think that's why people were criticizing. Let's see what he put here. Here's his post.
News: North Korea firing ballistic missiles after the U.S. and South Korea started their military drills. Now, this is according to South Korea's military. They say the launch of several missiles into the sea came just hours after South Korea and U.S. troops started their annual combined drills. You see some soldiers training on site here. The North views these as...
Which is their version of saber rally. Now, but they launched them into the sea. Like, where into the sea? Just a show of, oh, yeah, we got missiles too? Come on.
An invasion rehearsal. After the launch, South Korea's military says they are closely coordinating with the U.S. This marks
except for that one village.
Korea's 5th missile launch event this year.
Remember when Biden was president?
See, now this is the voice I always make fun of.
And Republicans would attack him every single time North Korea tested missiles. 5 times this.
No, not just test missiles. Okay, the one incident was where they were in the direction of Japan. It wasn't just testing missiles. They could fire short-range missiles into the water all they want, but when they aim them and go towards the direction of a country that we are seriously invested in, that's when you start criticizing them.
This year, North Korea has tested missiles, and they haven't said a word about Trump being weak.
Yeah, what a stupid thing, Ed. What a stupid way to put it. I'm sure they test missiles all the time. But it's where and how they test the missiles is where we get concerned. So, anyway, other things that I didn't get to. Who is that? I don't give a shit about that. WNBA. I know what I'll do for my last note here. The WNBA, just for a good chuckle. Apparently, Angel Reese and a couple other WNBA players are considering going on strike, demanding to get paid like an NBA player, even though she can't make a layup or consistently. And nobody goes to WNBA games, the most out of touch with reality I've ever heard. That's what this person says. They're saying that they, let's see, breaking. WNBA player Angel Reese is now demanding higher compensation for women's players, or they will be sitting out the season in protest. And to which I say, well, that would be one way for the WNBA to break even. All right, I got a bunch of other stuff that is lined up in the links today. You can check it out. Plus, I have the aggregator going, but I don't have any more time. So I'll just have to come back tomorrow with a new show and a new, main subject, whatnot. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. If you haven't done so, share the stream. Even though it's over, share the damn stream. And, then somebody might come across it and join us here in the live show. Also, you can sponsor the show 24 hours a day. Just look in the description. I got Venmo, Cash App, pdognight.live. The only thing you can't do during the show or outside the show is super chats, but you can do super thanks if you want to do it outside the show. But I always read what goes on. Here are today's links from the show. Links, as I put every day in the chat. Today's... Damn it. Show. There you go. There's the links. And we'll see you tomorrow. If you can make it, I would love to see you. My name is Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.